everyone, and happy Monday. It's Kimberly Beer here with Make It Happen Monday. One thing you can do this week to better market your business. So this week, later on the week, in Thursday exactly, I am going to be giving a class in downtown Kansas City about targeting your target market through paid social media. So we're going to talk really in depth about the things that you need to know in order to be able to place really good paid advertising these days. And I kind of wanted to introduce my Make It Happen Monday followers to this same concept because it is so very important to understand your audience in ways that we've never really had to understand our audience as marketers in the past. So I wanted to give you a rundown of what you really need to know about your customers, about your target market. So for most of us, there's the no-brainer items, age, gender, education, income level, location. Those are the things we typically think of when we go to place an ad. And they're the primary things that when you place an ad on social media and you have to choose your target market, these are generally the things that come up first. So when you go to buy an ad on Facebook and you choose to boost, or you choose through the ad manager to place an advertisement out there, the ad set, or the set of people that ad is going to go to, these are some of the top things that come up. And location is one of the primary ones. Gender and age are also very primary. And then secondary would be education or income level. What I want you to really do is drill down into your target market beyond those common demographics, into other things that your customers have in common, such as their personalities or their intrinsic traits or their affiliations. Because once you get past that top set of demographics, you really get into what makes up your unique customer base. And when you understand that unique customer base better, then you are better able to reach them, especially in your paid social media marketing. So what I want to encourage you to do, and I've kind of been doing this in a little hints and subtlety all along throughout this entire year of getting to know your customer and understanding your customer's experience and designing how you want your customers to interact with your business. But now I'm really going to say it flat out. You need to get to know them beyond just those basic demographics. So take a look at your customers as they relate to the style of your business. Now, this has to do with branding, and we've talked about that in past episodes. And I'm certain as a small business owner or an entrepreneur, by the time you get to the stage that you're listening to this recording, you have a concept of what branding is or what your brand needs to be. But how does that brand relate to your customer's style? How does it relate to their attitude? Does it have a cultural connection? Now, another big topic that we need to talk about is sometimes the absence of these things as important as the actual connection to them. For example, if your product or service appeals to all ages and there's no specific age that it appeals more to, then age is not a relevant demographic factor. The same thing can be cultural. If your product or service or nonprofit appeals to a large cultural base, then it's kind of a non-factor. But I bet if you really dig deep, you will see some of these adjunct traits are as important as the more solid demographic information in targeting your market. So those are three things that you can look at. Personality type traits. You can also look at intrinsic traits. These are traits that your customers share in common, but aren't always super obvious, like values or vision or desires or motivation. Let's say if you have a weight loss company, you want people who are motivated to lose weight. That is something that your entire audience shares. Now, if you're more general, then the demographic factor may not come into play. But if you are very specific, like women who are motivated to lose weight, then you have a gender demographic as well as an intrinsic trait like the motivation to lose weight. And you might also reach to people who are within a certain religion. Maybe you are basing your weight loss around a faith based concept. So now we have another value by which to further target down into a specific population. So, as you can see, the more you're able to drill down specifically into a very, very narrow niche of people, the more apt you are to be able to reach them with a really good message that feels like it was written just for them. And that's really what we're going for here. We're going for when they see the ad on Facebook or they get the email in their inbox, that they're so in touch with it that they're like, wow, they wrote that one-on-one just for me. I know that's just for me. Now, I know some of you are going, yeah, but I kind of have more than one audience. And that's fine, because the beauty of digital marketing, much more so than we used to have in print, is that you can create ads for each of those specific niche markets. So let's say that you have a weight loss program that's designed for women, but one of your programs maybe wants to reach people that have a little deeper faith or is faith based, and then but the program is not so faith-based that it wouldn't appeal to a non-denominational crowd, then you could include both of those. But to that faith-based audience, you might speak to them at that particular level, because maybe that's where the connection is. Maybe that's where that heart connection is, or the mind connection is. Maybe that's where those people will relate to your specific business over your competitors. And then you have another ad set that isn't necessarily pulling on that particular string, but is maybe more generalized. And then that ad goes out to people that are a little different. So again, this is fine tuning. And one thing about digital marketing is that you can fine tune down to the most wonderful levels in order to be able to reach a customer. So very, very tight, very narrow, so that that message feels like it reaches out just to that very specific small population. Another thing that you really need to know about your target market are things that they affiliate with. So are they part of a group? Are they part of an organization? Are there certain social channels that are really important to their communication? And do they have a network with which that you can hook into somehow? So this, as far as marketing is concerned, is to me one of those golden goose type propositions. My business in specifics, and a lot of the businesses I work with and help market, do so by reaching into a network that already exists. So if you have a network, let's say for my business example, obviously, I serve entrepreneurial businesses, and I'll bet a lot of you met me through SCORE. Well, there is an organization that is designed around helping entrepreneurs. So if my business is positioned and aligned with them, so I can reach out to their network, they already have an existing database of potential customers for my business. So you kind of see how that works. Now, within that network, of course, there are going to be entrepreneurs that don't fit within our specific business model. We're more interested in working with very mission-based businesses, so it's a very important designation. But that doesn't mean that the education or the things that I have to offer don't appeal to a wider audience, and that network doesn't contain a really good selection of customers that would be perfect for our businesses, for our business, and also for SCORE's business. And coincidentally, that also crosses back the other way. I have a wonderful database of people that I can bring to SCORE events. So it's more of a handshake situation and a very complementary, synergistic type of a relationship. When it comes to your target market, I always feel like my customers or the people that come to my classes, my students, don't always have a really good handle on this, mostly because they're afraid to really niche down to the very, very tightest ingredients of what makes their perfect customer. And I also feel at times that they want to market to a broader audience because they're afraid if they only market to the narrower one that they won't have sales. The truth to this equation is that the more clear your message, the more niche your market, the clearer your message. And actually, the clearer your message, the more it attracts people that are on the fringes or just outside of your target market, because the message is so clear that it can actually get through. So don't worry about that exclusion. And if it helps, digital marketing does allow you to be able to market to numerous different groups with very specific ads. So you don't have to exclude, you just create another ad. But I would really like for you to try this week to target your market just a little bit tighter than you ever have before. So if you've used the top level, like these demographics, I'm going to ask you to figure out a way that you could maybe add one of these other nuanced levels to your marketing target choices when you purchase an ad on Facebook, or when you purchase an ad on LinkedIn, or if you're targeting a specific group on another social channel. Go one level deeper than you've ever gone before, and do that for a couple of weeks and see if you don't start to see a little bit more positive results in your marketing. Now, with that said, please, when you target deeper, design your ads around that specific audience. So if you're going for those faith-based weight loss market, you want to make sure that the ad puts faith as a prominent part of your program. So you're actually pushing it out there in a really, really clear way that your program would be specifically perfect for someone who is religious and wants to lose weight at the same time, and just see how it would go. Now, that's just an example. You, of course, can pull on anything: values, desires, motivations, somebody's future vision, their cultural connections, attitude, style, organizations, networks, any of those things. That was just one example to hopefully help give you a little bit of fodder for yours. So I hope you have a good week this week, and I hope you'll take your target marketing just one little level deeper than you have in the past. Thank you, and I will see you next Monday.